Everyone here knows.
Oh my goodness. It's nonsense. Okay.
Good evening, Congress meeting to order. Will you the pledge of allegiance?
Mhm. Oh. It's not.
But we have nothing to report at this time. We are moving on to the approval agenda. Do I have a motion? I have a motion from Gloria, a second by Dave, all in favor?
Motion carries 5-0.
And then we're gonna do council report. Anybody can go, start? Mine's really quick, I just, went to the baked potato sale. Virgie put me to work immediately, so, make sure that if you guys go, you're ready to sit up a little bit and help out. They were really busy, but when I was there, so that was really cool. Also, I just wanna, thank NDPD, and their new community service officer who helped me, so 3 of the school buses don't have ACs in them. And that day there was like 108. We were like, we need to provide water for the little kids, you know, just because we don't want them to overheat. So they helped me go to the new food center, to load up some waters, and when we got there, the owner, I don't know, senior, that's what his name is. He's like, no, you take it, it's free. So they donated 12 cases of water for the kids, so it was really cool, and the kids were very appreciative, so just want to send, thank you to the PD and all that guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
But it's happy to see everybody here.
Okay.
It's been quite a week. Been attending some activities as a football coach. I was able to travel with the football team to Arvin. We did lose. It is the beginning of the season, but all fall sports are ongoing for our youth programs and for our high school as well. It's nice to see that. There's a lot of participation as far as our youth in the sports, whether it's tennis, volleyball, cross country, football, cheerleading, and it's in preparation for the rest of the sports, and I'm looking forward to when the city is participating in the fall sports next year. And I'll be your coach. I also want to thank all of our staff, the city staff that have been doing the heat. I know a lot of our meetings crews are outside during the warm triple digits, so I appreciate their efforts as well as the officers who enjoy the heat and it's not the last couple weeks. So thank you to all of our staff for doing that. Other than that, it's the council, East Korea's council sustainability agency board of directors meeting, so we don't have anything to put on that.
Cool, thank you. At this time, I will go and see what I did. But I attended the TCAG and TCRTA meeting, last Monday. There wasn't much that had to do with Lindsay, but I know that they discussed a couple of grants that I'm interested in bringing to Lindsay, more money. I attended the LHS volleyball game versus, they won. I did the potato cell, and I helped out a little bit. I made some corns. I'm just going out, but I made some corns. And I also attended the yard sale for the local art gallery here for the Lucy Chambers also. Okay, yeah, and so that was good, but it was really hot. Oh my gosh, it was so hot. That was pretty brutal, but it was good. It was a good turnout. A lot of people showed up. Then I also am attending the Morro Bay and LHS game this weekend, so I'm excited. Nice weather. So other than that, I would just stay cool, safe, and make Lindsay good and clean. At this time, we're going to do public comment. The public is invited to comment on any subject under the jurisdiction of Lindsay City Council. Please note that the speakers that wish to comment on a regular item or public hearing on tonight's agenda will have the opportunity to speak when public comment for that item is requested by mayor. Comments shall be limited to 3 minutes per person, with 30 minutes for total comment period, unless otherwise indicated by mayor. The public may also distribute the council to the council prior to the start of the meeting. I think I said the line, sorry. The public may also distribute the Students can submit a comment before the meeting via email. Public comments received via email will be distributed to the council prior to the start of the meeting and incorporated into the official minutes. However, they will not be read aloud. Under state law, matters presented under the public comment will not be acted upon by the council. So this time, we'll do public comment.
Council members, my name is Cheyenne Ortiz, and I'm here today to speak about the affects both our community and animal security. The lack of an operational animal shelter. Without a mobile facility, many stray, abandoned, and stranded animals do not have a safe place to go. This not only impacts animal welfare, but also creates challenges for our neighborhoods, our law enforcement, and families who want to help could have resources. In communities like ours, having a shelter is more than just a holding space. It represents passion, public safety, and a commitment to responsible living. Without it, the burden falls heavily on residents and smaller rescue groups who are doing their best to not profit the need. Because of this, I have taken the initiative to start working towards a solution. Over the past several weeks, I have been in communication with the city of Porterville regarding the old Tulare County Animal Shelter on Highway 65. I've been exploring the possibility of renovating and repurposing that facility into a nonprofit, no-kill animal sanctuary that would once again serve the people and the animals of our area. At this stage, I have gathered the foundational pieces, outlining a proposal, drafting budget considerations, and reaching out for letters of support from community partners. My goal is to build something sustainable, collaborative, and beneficial for both animals and residents. I don't want to go into much detail tonight, but I want to provide this council with the updates so you are aware of the direction I have pursued. As this project continues to take shape, I look forward to sharing a complete proposal for your review and hopefully your support. Thank you for your time and for your consideration of the importance of starting out.
Thank you. During our public comment?
Thank you. You know, I just want to thank everybody that came for this out. We had a good turnout and was happy. Our next one, I think next will be in October, first, second week of October. That's what we offer Christmas event. And yes, it was really hot and yard sale we had, but the people that made the money and stuff were happy and thank you again for all of it.
Thank you.
Regina, sorry, just real quick, what was, for the potato, the sale was, the money was going to what?
The last one,
Oh, this one that we passed?
the last one just passed was for the Chamber of Commerce and the city.
Oh,
Black Friday.
oh,
That's the Black Friday.
oh, okay. They don't always be, we're still getting ready for October, Christmas. Oh.
Moving on to the city manager report.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Been working on, quite a few things. This upcoming Monday is Labor Day, so city, hall and offices outside of public safety, will be closed. Public safety never gets some time off, we're well aware, we're thankful for that, as well as, we'll have on call folks on the building side, in case there's any issues on the as well. Since our last council meeting, we had a productive meeting with find regarding our contract with the pool. And so we're continuing the dialogue as far as what that looks like and sure that they're getting value out of it is the city. So there's no details to report on that. Just anticipate that in the coming month or so that there will be a formalized agreement, hopefully, on this time period. There isn't a few agencies It's a full time use up until January, when, they start engaging again for the new programs. There has been some dialogue and discussion with other cities, some city managers, as well as some residents over the past few months since I've been in this role about mosquito issues in and around Lindsay. So I just kind of wanted to bring that up and see whether or not there was any appetite by the council or to explore options. So, mosquito abatement, there are two, special districts in Tulare County, Delta Vector being one, that covers, a good portion of the county. However, it doesn't cover Lindsay, it doesn't cover Porterville, it doesn't cover Woodlake. So there's some of the furthest east, cities and both unincorporated areas, don't currently have any mosquito abatement. What they'll do is, there's additional property tax, on property owners that pay for services to, go in the backyards, put mosquito fish or spray and hang in pools. They'll look for any type of standing water. They'll do aerial sprays when it gets bad. So things that wouldn't be, negative for people, for pets, but would be impactful for mosquitoes. So, I know there was talks in years past about Lindsay possibly either joining or there's even the possibility of starting a new, mosquito abatement district. So I just kind of wanted to see if council had any thoughts as far as whether there was interest in desire to explore some options to provide, uh, different things. If there's momentum from other cities to add into it, that have come in and give a presentation, as far as what that might look like. So there's head nod, there's some, I think that, we put that on a future agenda to discuss.
You're saying that the vector.
No, Delta Vector would, I think, if I remember correctly at the time, the city wasn't interested. So there was initial, I believe Delta Vector and then the other districts as well are more than willing to expand. There's a whole process, LAFCO, we have to go through the LAFCO process to expand their boundaries. And then I think there are actually have elections. So city residents will ultimately have to say, council would, have to put that on a ballot. Residents would have to take a vote as far as whether or not, because it'd be a new property tax on, they wouldn't necessarily be as far as the special districts are, property. So, it wouldn't happen overnight. But there's some type of- Because, again, Boardville and I know Woodlake are specifically talking about options to help reduce their mosquito population. That, there might be some opportunities to, join in their efforts. Do something that's more along the same line of timelines. I haven't spoken with the, correct, that would be a county decision, whether or not, but I would, I would, would make the most sense to have a contiguous piece where it's not just, an island here and an island there. That is one block. Yeah. Mosquitoes don't say, oh, I reached city limits and I can't enter and live. Stay out. Why? But it looks like there is some interest and desire. I wish Cheyenne was still around. I have had some preliminary discussions with City Porterville about animal control as well, and so all this. So that's, at early phases, but there is some talk about doing something. finance and Soledad and her team are continuing to work on budget and go through that process, as well as the transition to Tyler, the financial software, which that's taking a bunch of time, and it's all good. Good stuff, we're moving in the right direction. Miranda, city clerk, HR manager, she continues to do lots of active improvements. We still have the public works position open. We're working on interviews for our recreation coordinator or management position, as well as for a rec position. And then public safety with in the police side, we have we have been reviewing and evaluating these for row 11. Previous council next month or so with bid packages on that. Last week we had a staff appreciation lunch, finding some speakers. We sent out surveys just to get some feedback. We haven't received results of those yet, but the anecdotal feedback that I shared, either myself or some of the department heads, overall positive. It's appreciated that there was some effort that valued individuals part of the team. We do have in the back a Freedom Shrine that the Porterville Exchange Club donated to us last week. They placed it similar product at the Porterville Veterans building, I believe at Porterville City Hall, and then some of the high schools. So I'm not sure yet where we're going to place them. Could be here in City Hall, maybe the Wellness Center, which gets a lot of traction. Essentially what it is there's copies of historical documents that the National Exchange Club is deemed are valuable documents. So Martin Luther King's speech is one of the documents. The Bill of Rights is another. There's different treaties and the Monroe Doctrine, et cetera. So there's again lots of different copies that are kind of small, nice thing that that they reached out and said if they're interested in buyers. So if you have any thoughts as far as where you think it might be a good place to hang them, mount them, within city, one of the city facilities. And I'd love to hear feedback. We had, we continue to have ongoing work with y'all and see the progress on that with full completion or practically full completion done with that in a half or so. Right now the main focus on backstops. We go by and some of the chain link fencing along with there's some minimal concrete that can do more planting of trees and other areas. They have this up on India. Now they're doing more. They've done more behind the basketball courts. So, and then lastly, we've had today we had some folks doing some energy surveys, looking at equipment and doing some assessment, evaluation. They'll be providing some report and options as far as how we might be able to get some of our costs down on both our SoCal gas bill as well as our bill. So I think it's can get with what they might think, but they still evaluate after things and equipment. But good opportunity. So I think that's overall. With that,
Thank you. Moving on to the consent calendar, reaching items approved in one motion unless the item is pulled for discussion. There will be no separate discussion of these matters unless requested is made. In which event, the item will be removed from the consent calendar to be discussed and voted upon a separate motion. Do we have a motion for the consent calendar?
I move to approve the consent calendar. Second.
Have a motion were made, the second, by Sanchez, all in favor? Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
At this time, we'll do presentations, that are about on Monday.
Mayor, council, manager. I'll be doing the recap of our summer. So some of our activities. All right. So some of our activities we had this past summer, we had a busy summer. We kicked off summer with the Olympic camp out. Councilmember Nave, at the Niner Park. We had a great group of families that took part. This was funded through the yeah.
Collaborate.
So it was free for the families to attend, take part. We had breakfast, lunch, dinner, bonfire, s'mores. And then we had a block party where everything was free for the block on Westwood by Palm Terrace. We had 360 booth, candy, hot dogs, a movie, music, games, and then food service with a 5K run and 3K walk. We had about 75 participants. Family dance parties. Last year we had 30, maybe 30 participants. This year we had about 130. So it was pretty good and well attended. There's free candy, face painting, photo booth, pizza, glow sticks. It was a lot of fun. And then we had our movies in the park. Of course, that was free. Probably had the biggest attendance in a while. We had probably 150 people out there. There was a lot of people. And then we had our kids night at the pool. We had 280 people. And then that's not out. We had another 280 by the time we're done with hot dogs. And then we did host a country line dancing night. About 25-ish took part in that. We had pickleball for beginners every week for about 8 weeks. We had youth pickleball classes, pickleball summer league, and then we had the big potato sale fundraiser. Raised about $900. And those funds are going to go back into the community to host the block party. And then our swim lessons, our numbers are a little low this year due to the fact we did eliminate 2 weeks for STARS summer program. They extended their hours at pool. So we still serve the youth in the community a different way through STAR program, where we offer swim lessons during those times at the pool. Usually we have about 200 participants for our swim lessons. This year we had 122 and 36. So it's not too bad, but we just serve about 100 kids through the STAR program. So. And then our public swim, we did cut back this year. Usually we're open Tuesday through Sunday. We noticed our attendance is extremely low on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, about maybe 30 participants. So this year we cut back and just did Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And actually helped. We did have large groups on those evenings. So total we had 2,240 participants throughout the summer for 3 days. And then something new what we're doing is Alpha Zumba, where it's Zumba but in the pool. So Anna, our Zumba instructor, she did get certified as Aqua Zumba instructor, so she has her cert. I think it's her second day class we had probably double than what's in this picture, and then we had the pool therapy, pool people doing therapy in the therapy pool, also taking part in the distance. So it's kind of nice. So it's something new we're going to continue until probably November-ish, and then we'll continue again in the springtime.
And then rentals, we're pretty busy this summer. We had the end of school parties, we had, Lindsay Unified School District art program I spoke about. We had Lindsay High School PE course, we had McDermott, swim lessons, so there's something new, that we haven't done in the past. McDermott reached out for us to provide swim lessons to, I don't want to say handicap, but disabled, clients of theirs. And they paid us our normal, swimming fee. So we actually collected an extra, I think about close to $1,000, in revenue this summer, just on those swim lessons. And then our great room rentals, we had 24 days total this summer, and about 20 rentals of the pool this summer. So those numbers are almost double from last year. So, and then Lindsay Skimmers, we had 50 days that they reserved from spring to summer. And then of course, this summer we were able to do ribbon cutting of our Lindsay disc golf course. So it's something new to the community. Everybody loves it. I hear great feedback. So we got to do a new project this summer. I feel like every summer we're doing a new project. So that's exciting. Next summer, we'll see what we have. Then of course, just a reminder about our memberships. We do offer contracted memberships. We do have classes, strength and balance, chair exercise, beginner's yoga, aqua Zumba, pound. We're open 6 days a week. And we're looking for more and more to do for our members. We're looking for a couple of new instructors from different areas, Tai Chi, Pilates. I had a couple people reach out, so I think they're going to get certified with classes at one cert. That concludes my report. Any questions?
Thank you, Armando. No, I appreciate it. You. I think that's something good going on in the city of Lindsay.
Right.
Yeah, keep everything together. Moving on to, action items, consider award price page and company and audit service contract action and recommendation, presented by, or submitted by Soledad.
Thank you very much, Mayor. We sent out an RFQ for, audit services. I emailed it personally to 3 companies, and we would have expected to receive more responses. We received one. We received the one from Price Page, and it's attached to this, report, staff report. Price Page is actually, local. They have an office in Clovis. They do about 60 government agencies already here in the Valley and throughout California. They're very familiar with the type of audits that Lindsay would have to do and catch up, like audit 34, 25 is going to be fine, we're still in time. And then the contracts would also go through 26 and with the option of doing the audit year 27 and 28. I did send them, they had questions, because that was part of the request or the proposal, that if they had any questions to submit them, and we would respond to them by a certain day. They did have questions, they wanted to find out what caused us to not get, keep on the audit schedule as prescribed by the state, why we don't have, or the last finance director is no longer here. They asked questions regarding what the findings were and how we solved some of them. And so we just walked them through some of that information, and I gave them a copy of the last audit, which is so they're well aware of what our standards are. And so part of that reason is that they have given us the quote, which I know is pretty high for fiscal year 24, which is $102,940, but 20,000 of that is just to make sure that from the point that they take over, that they can assert and be confident that the balances that they say are in each of the funds really are in each of the funds. So had we been doing everything correctly, that 20,000 wouldn't be there, but that's the extra fee just because it's the first year and they have to make sure that their numbers are correct, what we have. And then the rest of the years, there's the breakdown, and it's based on the different reports that we'll have to do.
So the other companies were like, nope.
They didn't respond, they didn't ask any questions, they didn't submit, and so,
Heartbreaking.
I mean, other, you know, it was posted on our website and we sent it to them, making sure that they were aware. And this was the only response. I have worked with them in the past. They're very good, they're very detail oriented, they question everything. And something that they asked me to say, you guys sent out an email, you find that email, I'm like, oh, here it is. And then I just sent an email. I mean, that's the kind of details that they really do expect you to keep and be able to produce what they ask you to produce. So. Any other thing you'd like to add?
Yeah, I think just the only thing I know that one of the firms that we had reached out to, one of the comments that they made was they thought that it might, that our budget was fairly low for this particular, stated what the dollar amount was, which, price page, they quoted it for what they thought was appropriate, and so I think that was maybe some of the feedback why people might not have said the amount of work that's necessary, that may not be good, their time, with what they thought it was, but obviously, price page, they would have thought what was needed as far as gets back on schedule, and that's, I think that's one of the primary issues that, because the last auditors quit prior to completing it, now we're, those months in.
When you spoke to them, were they seem fantastic? Or in fact, I'm just curious. Just see what they say, right? I would hate to say yes, even if it's on money. And in a situation where you're down the road,
So we actually, the Fausto is one of the managing partners of the business title. He actually already called me this week, to ask me more questions, like when can we start getting going on this, or when can we start putting a schedule together? And I'm like, we don't assign the auditor till Tuesday. After Tuesday, if we do receive it, then we can start scheduling, meetings and when we can get reports to you. But right now, I can tell you that this information will be ready in 2 weeks. This other information will be ready in a couple of months. So even though we haven't assigned them, they're already trying to make sure that they have the time for us to start the process.
Maybe they're like. Yeah, and that connection.
No, I guess it is a challenge, it is a challenge to take us.
I mean, but they have experience, right?
Yeah,
with a lot
exactly.
with other similar size cities, for,
And that's what I'm saying, because we've probably done this before, and they're willing to take a chance, and they call back, and they gave, at least they gave you some numbers. They're professionals before they were.
I mean, I was reading the records.
Yeah, thanks.
And they've also done, I think it's the Fresno Unicorn, which is like the third largest district in California. So they're familiar with small cities and large districts and everything in between. So they are definitely are professional. They know exactly what they're doing and what they have. Another thing that's happened in Lindsay is like a secret. So I'm sure they Google something. I'm sure they Google and they might know a lot more than what you maybe I.
We had to see from State Park and thanks to the State Park, then you know, they're not gonna get paid for an amount of stuff. So we can't have these organizations who just quit, like the last one, without reason. The public is gonna have to.
Well, is there a way?
Honest, well,
Yeah.
and then it's like.
Yes, that's what-
That's fine.
Mhm. So is there something that you could like type up and say like our contract, like, hey, in order to get paid, like, you have to stop. Is there a city manager?
Is there a, was there a contract included in the RFP? There was? There was. Yeah, I mean, I would have to look at that contract. I'm sure there's some sort of like notice period and or termination of the contract in there, but I don't know.
Okay,
Yeah, so if you approve tonight, we can approve with contingencies that our city attorney can add some language and we'll evaluate that to ensure that there's some clawback or there's some language in there to flex that if they don't complete, the assigned full contract, then there's a, to get something back.
at this time, do we have public comment or 13.1? At this time, public comment is closed. Any more questions? Questions? No one is there? Do I have a motion for 13.1?
Motion to approve with the. I'll second.
A motion from Flores, a second by Sanchez, all in favor? Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Moving on to 13.2, authorization to issue requests for qualifications. To solicit proposals from qualified civil engineering firms, provide an ongoing engineering or related federal. And this is submitted by Kylie.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, Council. This is, again, as we've been going through some of the needs for the city, and part of our process, prior to actually going out to our RFQ is, seeking council input and ultimate direction. This is another, professional services, task that staff is looking for help and necessity. Just for clarification, an on-call engineer, doesn't take over the actual city engineering services like we currently have. We currently have a contract with QK who provides, our engineering and planning services. This would be in addition to that. So oftentimes, existing protocol by other cities, counties, they go through this process to have on-call engineering services where they have a list, where there could be, depending on the city and the county, typically it's 3, 4, 5 or more, different, firms that they pre-qualify, that they vet, that they look through. Ultimately, council would have to approve who's on that list. So it will come back to you, but it wouldn't just be one firm in particular. The goal is to have multiple firms. Speaking with staff, we have a similar type of relationship, even if it may not be called out, with Provost Richard that helps us with many of our bond projects. And so because we're getting ready to have multiple projects coming up, this is something that will help expedite us getting some of the work done by making sure they're pre-approved, that for smaller projects, it wouldn't necessarily, every bid wouldn't have to come to council for these particular types of services, but some of the larger ones still obviously. So another example of something that could be utilized, so with our transit center, there's going to be need for construction management, and other ancillary type of services for that. With the road projects, with the SB1 funds that, staff came to council in June, with Westwood, with Central, with MS, those will have a need for additional type of professional services, and then well 11 too. So if we go through the process, well 11 really was, as we begun to talk with that from at a staff level, that was really why we're bringing today. More items for related to that. So, again, craft the documents, the actual RFQ, we put it out in a similar fashion on the internet, see if other firms will put that in, and then once we have those, we can then bring that back to council to have additional resources at our disposal, depending on what the project would be, whether or not our existing city engineer has the expertise level, or we may just want a new set of eyes. So oftentimes they are looking at it on behalf of the city, but like in the case for Wallable, we wanted a third party to run the construction, kind of from that standpoint to really own it. So it's just, they're still working in tandem, but it's just another check and balance on making sure that the work's being done appropriately. So that's that.
Thank you. Do you have any questions? Making public comment for 13.2? Nope. At this time is closed. Do I have a motion for 13.2?
I'm also.
I'll second.
No motion from, Korea, a second by Flores, all in favor? Aye.
Motion carries 5.
And we'll move on to request for future items. Any other request for future items?
I was curious, I remember actually Lonzo, one of the former chiefs, was helping beautify Lindsay by forcing parking. Yeah, part of the park to use funds. And I know that was something that going to start. I know with the changeover, the coming on moving parts, so I was hoping a lot of cars, tags, cobwebs, looking to pass the code. Residents to, you know.
And just to piggyback on that, I think it was a concern that I spoke to one of the residents that parking on lawns. Yeah, they're like, man, they get tired of, anywhere else they would get fined, so that's another concern. I've had some volunteers that would go out and do the ticketing on like, do it appropriately. So, any other particular? All right. So,
Yeah, and just to clarify, we are gonna be moving back into closed session for the same items that are from the beginning of the meeting that we did finish. So we're going back.
we'll get up later, you guys know whether we will. Okay. We have nothing to report, the meeting is adjourned.
Right, guys.
Yeah, I just, I'm reporting on everything.